Alrighty, so apparently we got to cover Andrew Tate, and it's a older video of his, but there's a reason we are covering that one specifically. Also, today I am bringing on a guest with me as well. Behind me is Renita-chan. They have a channel as well over on YouTube and over on Twitch. I've actually been on there once reading some nightmarishly terrible creepypastas because, like, 99% of them are awful, and the other ones most people forget about. But that said, Renita, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself before we get into this madness?
Hello, my name is Renita-chan. I'm a streamer as well. I did do creepypasta readings, but I do a lot more like gameplay videos now. I'm currently playing through Silent Hill 2, the Enhanced Edition on PC. And I think Suris also brought me on not just because we're friends, but also because I am a massive nerd when it comes to Spider-Man, to the point where I wrote a 12-page research paper about the history of said character. So I really know what I'm talking about when it comes to this guy.
And there's a reason that Spider-Man comes up when we are talking about this. Because Andrew Tate had some choice words to say about the character. So let's go ahead and get into the fan art section.
And they are the choice words that actually inspired me to pick that topic for my essay, and I got a 97% on it.
Well, there you go. So, let me go ahead, and I need to go ahead and get to the area on Discord where the fan art section is to make sure that I've got everything here. There we go. Boom. So, the first piece of fan art we have here is from Bunny Goddess. It said, working on a piece. I'm not going to say the word that said after that because, no. But
oh, it's really cute.
Yeah, looks like an outfit swap. Because I see myself there wearing not my traditional outfit, but that's apparently over on Bunny Goddess.
Mm-hmm.
The next one we have here is from Ivana Dragmeyer. Said, "Look, the chat creates nothing but problems, and we're proud of it."
Oh, should I voice act with you?
By all means, you can voice act the chat. I'll be me.
I'm a creative type.
Oh. What do you create?
Problems.
We've got coins. We have Marjorie Taylor Greene hiding behind the Titan's wall. Timer Coon. Oh, Jesus fuck. So anyway, off we go to the next piece of fan art that isn't a walking plastering of my problems. The last one we have here is from Anubian.
Oh, no.
It says, "Legends never die."
Oh, you became the washing machine.
I just... Why?
Is this on the same level as, and then you became skeleton and wrote this?
No, it's from the laundry porn meme.
I know, but it, like,
I want to die.
Like the same level of just like, and then I was like, but we were you, and then you became skeleton and wrote this.
Oh, look, there's some writing on the internet that need not be entertained.
I just thought that part's funny.
As always, everyone, thank you all for your fan art submissions. Kind of, sort of. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, please remember to drop it in the Discord section. With that all said, if you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing both to my channel and also to Renita's channel. Links will be in the description and also in the pinned comment. With that all said, so, are you ready to get into whatever the hell this is? Because I have deliberately not watched this video specifically for this moment.
Like, oh, I'm so ready.
All right. Ah, hiccups. Why? Stop!
It's okay.
All right. Let's see what we got here. We have a Universal logo. Oh no, it's brutal reviews with Andrew Tate.
Pause for a sec. In order for something to be called a review, you have to be going over something and giving your thoughts. Apparently, like, I remember watching back through this, he didn't actually complete the movie. So this is not really a very well-informed review, but he said before that, like, he can't sit down and watch a movie because he finds that kind of boring. He'll just be scrolling through his phone. Apparently, all entertainment to him has to be very, very frenetic.
It sounds like he's just got ADHD.
Yeah, it does, and that he just refuses to do anything constructive about it.
Yeah, like, has he ever considered that he could just, have a video on one monitor and be doing something on the other, and therefore complete movies while doing tasks? It's a pretty easy way to go through stuff. Like, I'm torturing myself double. I'm reading Homestuck while playing League of Legends. It's like taking all of the worst things society has created and injecting them into both of my arms.
Yeah, no reprieve for you.
No, there's gonna be like some diehard Homestuck in my comment section who's gonna be angry about that comment.
It's gonna be okay.
All right, let's go. Okay.
Spider-Man's a pussy.
Well, that's.
And
okay,
what a way to begin.
So the audio mixing is awful. We have an incredibly loud Universal logo, and then Spider-Man's a pussy in like the lowest baby voice you could imagine.
As well as like it just was like super pixelated coming out of the. Obviously, that intro had to be made by somebody else because I don't think he has many skills aside from screaming misogynistic comments and also not understanding superhero media.
So let's see if we get the audio balancing right. Let's see if we can fix his problem for him.
Spider-Man's a pussy.
There we go. Okay. We got it.
Oh boy, what a way to begin.
I cannot remember how this conversation started about superheroes, whatever. And I was talking about how all superhero movies are stupid and it's all bullshit, but the worst of them all is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a bitch.
Let's pause. Spider-Man is actually the character that has had some of the the highest earnings of any superhero movies, and this is like including all of the ones he's had. Like the only one who's earned more has been Batman. So if anything, that should tell you how much Spider-Man is a bit culturally ubiquitous.
Also, it should be noted that for someone like Andrew Tate, he's the type of person that views financial gain as a measure of success, as a measure of quality. So shouldn't that kind of translate to things being better in general for him? I don't know.
It should, but he's not really consistent. I mean, he idolizes Eddie Brock Venom, who is normally not very financially stable.
And also hella gay.
Yeah, well, hella bi, but still.
Well, true. He's...
Honestly, to me, I think the symbiote is pan because it doesn't really care about gender.
The symbiote will get in anything.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're definitely going to get copyright struck for holding on to that image for a long time.
Yep. Thanks, Tate.
We're just watching Tobey Maguire cry, okay? So you're just going to say, yep, Spider-Man's a pussy. Look at Tobey Maguire cry. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
You have to be a pussy to cry when your best friend is literally dying right in front of you and you can't do anything to stop it.
If you like Spider-Man, you need to seriously reassess your life.
What?
Why? Okay. I've reassessed my life. So far, I have a little bit more of a career trajectory than Tate does. I am definitely enjoying my life a little bit more because I'm not worrying about getting bitches and getting money. I'm concerned about just doing things that I enjoy.
I'm also pretty comfortable with where I am currently. I've watched Spider-Man. I've kind of come to where I am before and after watching him. I'm okay just doing the content creation thing.
I mean, you also have a stable girlfriend while he does not.
But Renita, he gets all the bitches, apparently.
And then they all leave.
Gee, I wonder why someone would leave a person who... go on.
Unless he took away her... It's like, unless they took away her passport, allegedly.
Oh, very allegedly. Also, I don't know why someone would possibly leave a man who has gone on record to say that he tells his girlfriend, one of them at least, to get him 2 coffees in the morning, every morning, and that he only ever consumes the one. And then when his girlfriend says, why do you make me get you 2 coffees? You only ever drink the one. And he goes, bitch, if somebody were to smack your ass. I would have to fight them. I would have to risk my life for you. The least you can do is shut up and make me the coffees. Like, bro, that's not a reason for somebody to make you extra coffees. That's just you going on a power trip. That's not logical. There's no A to B there. There's just I can, so I did. That is called toddler logic, my guy.
Yeah. Oh, plus he has to have his, like, car in the background with that little sign, and obviously there's one of those mud flap girls on there because he just cannot live without stressing the fact that it's just, oh, look at me, I get bitches. Look at that, I got a naked lady right there.
Oh,
she's not naked, but she's an outline.
He's got a brand that he feels like he has to maintain, and he's really uncomfortable if he can't maintain that brand. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just gonna virtue signal here like an asshole for a moment, but I think subverting your brand sometimes is way more funny and way more profitable than sticking with it as hard as you possibly can. This is why, like, even though I did the VTuber thing, which was going off-brand for me at the time, now that is what I do, sometimes I'll just show my face randomly on camera as part of a gag. Like, I don't know. I think subverting that is more funny than just constantly hiding behind it.
Yeah, it can be when it's done with, like, humor in mind.
He was a dork who got bit by a spider. Now he's super spider dork, and he still can't get.
Oh, now it's back.
Oh, hold on. So is
who got bit by a spider. Now he's super spider dork.
He was a dork bit by a spider. Now he's super spider. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Did you also forget that he has a really high IQ? Like, Tate really loves to go like, "Oh, I'm so smart," except that he's made some of the dumbest points I've ever heard ever. Like, oh, he's too smart for books. But still, like, Peter has an intellect that is really high up there. Perhaps he has not surpassed people like Reed Richards or Dr. Banner, but he is still incredibly intelligent.
Yeah, like within the Marvel universe, he's a smart guy, but I think the biggest thing for me when looking at this is this is an issue with the writing of Peter.
Yeah.
He is written to be that smart, but he's also written to be the everyman, which I can understand there being, like, if you were to legitimately analyze his character and go, okay, he's very smart, and yet he can't find a way to pull himself out of poverty with everything that he does, I can maybe kind of sort of understand that point, but at the same time, that would be undermining the purpose of his character. But you gotta think, for somebody like Andrew Tate, the only thing that brains are good for is making money, because the only thing that matters to him is material gain, which one of the main points of Spider-Man has always been that it's not always about the money. I mean, I'll be the asshole.
Sometimes it's about the Mets.
Sometimes it's about the Mets. I love the Mets.
The home runs, love the Mets, baby.
It's not about the money, Spider-Man.
And he still can't get laid.
Okay, wrong.
Wait, what?
False.
He literally killed a woman
girlfriends.
with his radioactive sperm. I'm sorry.
But no, like, Spider-Man has had several girlfriends.
He's had flings with Black Cat. He's been he has been with Mary Jane multiple times. He's been with Gwen Stacy. He has been with
R.I.P. that.
He's been depending on the continuity.
Yeah.
He's been with several people in the Marvel universe, including Deadpool.
Yeah, he's also been out with Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. Like, once. But still, it's just like, he really gets around. He's a bit of a slut.
Yeah, like, in fact, like, there's to the point where there is an entire, almost unilaterally hated comic about Peter's love life, specifically the One Last Day event.
Oh, fuck, that was terrible.
Yeah, where he has the freaking, for those who might not have read it, Spider-Man and Mary Jane is one of the most iconic pairings in comic history, and that comic is about Spider-Man making a deal with Mephisto that ends in him never being with Mary Jane. For writing reasons, we guess.
Yeah, they were really terrible, but still, I think we're feeling the impacts of that. Even then, there has been a lot of other times where he's just gotten with a girl. Usually it's Mary Jane who they get married. And still, it's like, Peter has had a way healthier love life than Tate. And he got that just, like, not just in spite of being a nerd, but also somewhat because he's a nerd.
Not to mention, like, just within the movies themselves, Spider-Man gets with Gwen in the Sam Raimi films. He gets with Mary Jane in the Sam Raimi films. He has that one girl who, like, lusts after him with the creepy landlord. Like,
oh, Ursula.
Yeah. And then when you get into the Andrew Garfield films, he has his entire thing with Gwen. And then when you get into the Marvel Cinematic Universe films, he has MJ. Like, he's in every single one of these. In every single one of these, he's able to get laid. In no continuity of Spider-Man has he not been able to get laid.
Yeah, because, like, all of these girls really like him, and they don't even think the fact that he's a nerd is at all a turnoff. They're just like, oh, that's him, he's charming. That's something that Spidey has that Tate doesn't. He's charming. Tate is probably the most boring person I've ever had the misfortune to know of.
Who's that bitch? Mary Jane Parker, some shit?
Mary Jane Watson? I mean,
yeah, Mary Jane Watson, who
she will be
becomes Mary
Parker.
Jane Watson Parker. Like,
You're Spider-Man.
okay, so in perspective, in the Sam Raimi films, she was an actress. In some of the comics, she's a supermodel. When are you gonna get that, Tate? Never.
I mean, literally, the opening line for her that starts off their entire relationship is, "Today's your lucky day, Tiger."
It's like, face it, Tiger, you hit the jackpot.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And she still won't have sex with you.
But she
Wrong!
She did! Multiple times!
Oh. And here, this tells me that he didn't at all pay attention. Even though Spider-Man 3 is like a train wreck, I can barely look away from it. She was doing this under duress. She didn't want to break up with him, exactly, but she was being forced to do this. It's a stupid thing in the movie. I won't deny that, but this is the wrong context to do this in.
It's not working. You and me.
What?
Okay, we're just gonna pause that real quick because I don't want to get copyright cucked.
Yep.
While YouTube makes me watch.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, but I don't want her to know I'm Spider-Man. I want her to still think I'm a fucking nerd.
She
Wait,
knew!
She knew he was Spider-Man that whole time!
And it's like, oh, I don't want her to think I'm Spider-Man. I want her to think I'm a fucking nerd. She already knew he was a nerd. She knew he was a nerd because they had known each other since they were 5.
Yeah, like, he makes the decision in movie 1 to leave her because he needs to do the Spider-Man stuff later. But by the time movie 2 and 3 come along, that is not the case anymore.
Well, arguably, she actually kind of somewhat figures it out after the first one. I mean, she actually did profess her love for him in the first one, around the end, saying that as she thought she was going to die, one of the last things she was thinking, it's like, one of the things that kept coming to her mind was, I hope I get out of this alive so I can see Peter Parker again. And honestly, that seems like something that's a little bit more genuine.
Yeah.
Plus, she kissed him, and he's just like, I'm sorry, I can't. But he wasn't doing it because, like, oh, I don't want her to know I'm Spider-Man. I want her to think I'm a fucking nerd. He did that to protect her.
Yeah, because
if people found out, if she knew he was Spider-Man, and if other people found out who he was, she'd be next on the chopping block.
It's the same reason that a lot of people who are content creators try to keep basic shit from their private lives as private as possible, because when unscrupulous people try to go out and harm them, the easiest way to harm somebody who seems untouchable is to harm their weak points, and their weak points are usually close friends, family, and, oh, by the way, loved ones. Jesus
yeah,
Christ,
as well as Avalon of Babylon was like, wait, by that point, hadn't they gone on a fucking date stargazing on a giant spider web?
Yes!
They did. Tate just can't pay attention to save his life.
If I was Spider-Man, you think that
You're
bitch
not,
would
but
be
go
sucking
on.
and fucking? By
What?
hook or by crook? I believe.
Hold on, I need to hear what he said again. One sec.
Man, you think that bitch wouldn't be sucking and fucking?
Tate.
Oh, so
because...
none of that power and responsibility stuff that makes Peter an interesting person and categorically a hero. He'd just be a superpowered perv. Great.
Yeah, he's literally just admitting, if I was Spider-Man, I would be the villain. Okay,
yes.
Cool.
Even then, he'd be like a D-grade villain that isn't even worth an entire issue being dedicated to him.
Like, guess what, Tate? We've already done Spider-Man as villain before. We've done that. So
we've done what was it called again?
Like the Spider-Man he wants specifically already exists in multiple mediums, including the time Wolverine possessed his body.
Yeah, there was also Spider's Shadow, which, by the way, if any of you have the ability to read it, do. It's so good. It's like where he never gave up the Venom suit, and he actually ended up getting a lot more aggressive, and it was pretty interesting to watch how he actually rationalizes this with himself.
By hook or by crook?
Also,
well, bitch, I'm Spider-Man, come here. Let's just say, oh.
Bitch, I'm Spider-Man, come here. That's not endearing enough. That's like somebody going like,
no.
I'm the president, you should fuck me. Like, no, that's not a good enough reason.
Plus, that doesn't even fit with any of the other Spider-Men who exist. Go like, bitch, I'm Spider-Man, come here. None of them do that.
Not to mention, if you were to do that, Spider-Man, Andrew Tate would be one of the shortest-lived Spider-Men, because he would be...
He would.
He would be Peter in the Ultimate Comics very quickly.
Oh, yeah,
Green Goblin would break him over his knee so fast.
Yeah, forget more Lun. You would have just, like, D-grade, like, Speedball come and get him.
Yup.
Okay.
That's the insult.
By some crazy twist of fate. Some crazy twist of fate, she goes, no, I don't want to. I'm like, psst. Fuck.
So by some crazy twist of fate, you would just rape her. Those are the words you said.
Perv, a superpowered rapist.
Like,
Jesus,
what?
like, I think even Carnage would go like, you're disgusting.
To my
it's like, we're killing you on principle.
Yeah, I don't remember if there's a point where Cassidy ever actually does that to someone. Like,
he doesn't.
Like,
he does throw a baby out a window once.
Well, yeah, he's not a good guy. I think...
No, but that did get caught by Venom.
I'm trying to think here, like, in terms of supervillains who have done the rape thing, I know Dr. Light has done it. I know the Joker has done it.
Not Jekyll, Joker.
Yeah, Joker's done it a handful of times.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's like the one line most villains, most of them, won't actually cross. The only time a writer will make them do it is if it's a villain that is so absolutely repugnant that they feel it's okay to make them do it, like the Joker, or a villain that nobody takes seriously, so they do that as a way to make them more threatening. Like, Dr. Light is willing to go this far.
It's like, I mean, the Blob has done something a little worse, I think, than the whole rape thing. I mean, like, he did eat
Tastes
Wasp.
like chicken? The Tastes Like Chicken panel?
Yep.
Yep.
But still, it's just like that. He even did the hand wrong, and like it's not. It's like something like that. I don't know. It annoys me a little bit.
What are you talking about? No. But gee, Spider-Man. The only thing Spider-Man's doing is sitting at home jerking off. How are you a superhero if you're sitting at home jerking?
Yeah, he does do that.
As if he would have the time for that. As if he had the time for that. I mean, like, at least from the games and also comics and movies, most of the time when he is not at work or doing anything else, he's usually fighting crime. If not, like, just sleeping, because it's an exhausting whole body, like, thing that happens all day long.
Headcanon. Peter Parker doesn't jerk off before bed because he's too tired.
Yeah.
Just shooting webs.
I don't think he has much time for it. No, it doesn't come out anywhere else. They proved that in No Way Home. They said just the wrist.
Yeah, but it was still funny when Andrew Garfield got grossed out by it.
Yeah.
Jerking off.
I love that conversation.
Fucking loser. Spider-Man is a dork. There's nothing admirable about Spider-Man.
There's plenty of things admirable about him.
This is where you're wrong. This is like the final lines of my paper. It's like, it's never been about the suit, the powers, the quips. It's never been about that. What makes a person Spider-Man is their heart. Like, their willingness to actually, like, take responsibility and use these powers to help people, even if it doesn't help them. Even if it hurts them in the long run, they'll still do it because they feel like they have to do it responsibility-wise. And that's something I find incredibly admirable.
It's something agitating when the entire reason that Tate feels this way, functionally, like really, when you dig deep down, is because he's just one of the villains. Of course he thinks this way about the character of Spider-Man. If he lived in a comic book universe, he would be part of a rogues gallery. D-list rogues gallery, but rogues gallery nonetheless. Those characters feel that way about the heroes because they're not good people.
Plus, also, it's just like, someone's like, how is the Heart of Powers? Like, it's not really a power so much as it is, like, a subset of one of his other abilities, which is, like, indomitable will and uncorruptible spirit. Like, just have a look at, I think it was Amazing Spider-Man number 33, if not number 32, where he's stuck under a lot of, like, rubble, and he could die. He was just pinned there, couldn't move until realizing, like, he had to get up, and just pulls off this amazing feat of strength, just, like, through sheer willpower, as well as, like, basically pulling himself out of his own grave in Kraven's Last Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Throws a full-grown elephant at one point as well.
Didn't he, like, he became Super Spider-Man, and then someone killed his uncle. Some robber killed his uncle. Is this the right story?
Uh-huh.
He became Super Spider-Man, and then a robber killed his uncle. Is this the right story?
Technically, yes.
He's technically correct, I guess.
That's my uncle!
Yeah, okay, we're gonna get copyright cucked for that, I'm pretty certain.
Yep.
Go back to...
Some robber killed his uncle, and now he decides he wants to stop crime to get the robber who killed his uncle. Does he even catch that robber ever?
Like, well, in the first one, he wasn't just like, I'm gonna fight crime now. It's like, nah, it was more of just like an angry, vengeful, I'm gonna go get that guy because he killed my uncle. And then discovers, oh, that's the guy that I let go when I had the chance to stop him.
Yeah, it's when he realizes...
So this is my fault.
It's when he realizes the responsibility part of having power. Like, oh, I had the power to stop him ages ago, and I didn't.
My decision cost my uncle his life.
Not to mention...
As well as, he's like, does he ever catch that guy? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he does!
The guy died because he fell out a window getting spooked by Peter just advancing on him. It's just like, did you give my uncle a chance? It's just like, falls out a window, dies on impact.
Yeah, I mean, and it depends on which version of the story that you're looking at, too, because it goes differently in Andrew Garfield's version.
Yeah, they didn't catch him. I think he might have fled the state, and he just didn't go find him.
There's a lot of weird contrivances in the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Yes,
Don't
and it's
worry.
never really stated in, like, any of the MCU ones, but I think what happened in No Way Home, it hurts a lot. But honestly, I didn't really cry, but I did feel pretty sad for him.
Yeah, they decided that if they couldn't have an Uncle Ben moment, they would have an Aunt May moment.
They would,
Which,
and it's actually around the end where, like, everybody forgets him. Spoilers. Sorry. That is just, like, that was what was making me sad.
Spoilers
It's just
for a
like,
movie
he is
everybody should
completely
have seen.
alone. It's like, he's just completely alone, and he's not even an adult yet. He's 17.
Yep, and he doesn't get access to any of the tech or any of the teams or anything that has basically safeguarded him up to that point.
So he's having to strike out on his own, and I'm kind of excited to see what they do with that. Plus, the new suit was fantastic.
I'm genuinely asking. Does he catch the robber? I don't know. If you guys know about
Yes.
Spider-Man, tell me.
Like, yes, if you watched the fucking movie, you would know.
So, I want to point out something that he did right there. It was a content creator thing, and a bit of a scummy one, specifically. What he just did there was a call to action. He wants engagement on his video, and to get engagement on his video, he's going to play stupid. I guarantee you he knows. He's going to play stupid, and then ask if somebody in the audience, the people who are watching in his comment section, know better than he does. And of course, everybody's going to know better than he does because 90% of the population know the Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
And that's going to give him easy engagement. It's a very cheap way to get engagement.
Very underhanded.
It's why I try not to do it too terribly much unless I'm genuinely curious about opinions. But when I say something like, if you say something stupid and then ask people to correct you in the comment section, come on. That's like the cheapest baby bait.
Most of them don't even need to be asked. They'll tell you.
Does he catch him? And what does he do? Put him in jail?
No, he died.
Is he?
Does he hang the robber by his neck in the middle of the city with rope?
Okay.
Why would he?
What the fuck, man?
Why would he have to do that?
He wouldn't have to.
Like,
Plus,
okay.
even if he did, the webs are biodegradable. They'll dissolve after, like, 2 hours.
Yep.
And even then, like, why would he have to do that? I'm sorry that not every superhero is Frank Castle, Tate.
Just like, yes, I must deliberately misunderstand this well-established character so that I can have them kill people. Behold, Zack Snyder's Spider-Man, everyone.
We almost had James Cameron Spider-Man, but kind of glad we didn't.
I'm kind of glad we didn't either.
Yeah.
Said, is Tate legitimately Dumb and Dumber? Yes, he's...
Yes.
God, I'm gonna hit the play button.
And hangs him to death. No, he takes his ass down the police station to fill in paperwork.
Yes, because that is what a superhero is supposed to do. They're not supposed to go out there, play judge, jury, and executioner, and even then, the guy fucking died.
Like, the whole point of a superhero, right? And I'm just gonna say this right now. The point of a superhero is they are the ideal form of a cop. That is what they're supposed to be. They're the ideal form of a cop. We know that there are corrupt police officers. We know that the way that they try to, save people generally sometimes leads to other people dying when they're not supposed to. Cops are not perfect. Duh. We don't live in a great world, and more of them are corrupt than not. What superheroes are supposed to be is they're supposed to be the ideal law enforcement. They work outside of the regular rules so that we can fantasize that, we might be able to see ourselves as them. I mean, that's literally a point of Spider-Man. You could see yourself in the mask no matter who you are.
It's actually part of the brilliance of the design that Lee even praised Ditko for later, going like, he didn't intend for that, but since he's like, every inch of him is covered, he's basically like, anyone from any background could like imagine themselves as Spider-Man. That's kind of brilliant almost.
Yup. And so when you have superheroes being the ideal form, a very idealized version of law enforcement, you get to create this persona where they get to embody ideals more than people who have to deal with the nitty-gritty of the world. So in a realistic scenario, you or I, we encounter the Joker, and we have an opportunity to kill the Joker. We kill the Joker because we're realistic people. We're going to stop the mass murderer from doing it to more people. Batman, though, as a character, represents a set of ideals, and one of them is typically, in some media, to not kill. So he is granted the ability to take Joker in and not actually do that, try to rehabilitate him, something that most people are not going to be able to do or would not be able to pull themselves to do. Spider-Man is very much the same way. He is built to embody a set of ideals, the idea that instead of killing a criminal, we could potentially reform them, we could potentially get them to be better. Hell, in No Way Home, that's a major plot point of the movie, is taking all of the villains throughout the cinematic history of Spider-Man and rehabilitating them.
And it worked on a couple of them.
Yeah, like the ones, like it worked to a point on Green Goblin. It worked completely on Doc Ock. It worked, like, everybody who wanted help got help. Everybody who wanted to change was able to change, unless there was some other circumstance stopping them from doing so, like in the case of Green Goblin. Yeah.
And even then, I refer to Doc Ock when he's better as just Otto, because I think that a little bit more of the humanity has come through there.
Yeah,
and even then, it's just like, not only are superheroes more like idealized versions of what cops could be, it's also more of like they're a paragon for people to look up to.
Yeah, they're sets of ideals, and they're sets of ideals so much so that there are entire stories written around the idea of them violating those ideals. Like,
Yeah.
There are alternate universes where Batman kills once and it causes him to go too far over to the other side, and suddenly we have, scenarios.
The Batman Who Laughs.
I was about to say that. Yeah, Dark Knight's Metal led to the Batman Who Laughs. Stuff like that. Like, that comes as a direct idea of superheroes embodying a set of ideals, and when those ideals are violated, they become a corrupted mess. Injustice is literally the story of that happening to Superman. If you don't understand that part of superhero media, I can understand that, but it's a pretty basic idea. It's the reason why superhero deconstructions are so popular, because as characters, they have been written to embody literally like a Ten Commandment style structure in how they operate.
It's just like, wow. Way to miss the point completely.
What kind of fucking superhero are you? Killed your uncle.
A good one. Like, what kind of superhero are you? A good one.
Yeah, a superhero is not about, in most cases, they're not about cracking vengeance on people. And if they are superheroes that are based on the idea of vengeance, the way that they operate might not involve murder. Like, Spider-Man is not a vengeful superhero. He will go out of his way to severely inconvenience you if you fuck with him. But by and large, he's not a superhero that embodies vengeance in the same way that, say, a Frank Castle or a Batman does. That's just not his MO. Also, spammed him with a gun. Thank you very much for the follow. So
yeah, same with like Red Hood. Jason Todd is like, he's an interesting character, but I wouldn't say he's like a paragon or a really great superhero. Because like he does disagree with Batman on like the no killing thing.
Yeah,
and sometimes he has a point.
Yep, sometimes.
But other
right.
times it's like, no.
Like, I think when Jason Todd talks about, the Joker and the reasons why Batman has decided not to kill the Joker, he has good points. There is no reason to keep someone like the Joker around. But, yeah.
Oh, and you just got an Ara.
I know. I see that. I hate it. Anyways, Arianda, thank you for redeeming your points for an... You fucking degen. I'm gonna click the video now and pretend I didn't have to say anything.
Let's go.
He's a pussy.
Agent of Zapdos, I hate you. Thank you for redeeming your points for an owl.
The pussy. It's like...
If you killed Venom's uncle, Venom would fuck the dude up.
Pause.
Would he?
Do you mean the symbiote or do you mean the host? Because it varies based on host.
Yeah. Like, it depends on
Okay, so the
who's
symbiotes typically don't actually adhere to most familial structures. Technically, Venom has several children, but he doesn't really have a lot of connection to most of them.
He's perfectly willing to kill some of them.
Yep. I mean, like, the only one he's really connected to currently are Dylan, Brock, and Sleeper.
He's also been connected to, whatchamacallit? What's his name?
Toxin?
No, not Toxin. I can't remember his name. Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was
Well, you mean like Flash Thompson?
Yeah, Flash Thompson. Why did I say Flash Gordon?
I don't know. But,
Right.
okay, so if it was Eddie Brock, he doesn't have an uncle, but he does have a dad who's an abusive piece of shit. I don't think he'd really care if someone killed his dad. He might go after them and kill them just because, well, they killed somebody, but he wouldn't really be shedding tears over him. If it was someone like Mac Gargan, aka the Scorpion, who has a lot of things wrong with him, then he would definitely not care. He would not be sad. But, like, any chance to enact violence, he'd take it.
And then
You've also had, like, lots of others.
He probably wouldn't.
If he was attached to Peter, he'd probably get pretty close to it, but he would stop himself. Like, he would just, like, stop just shy of killing someone and just, like, you better not. Or it's just like, it's better that you serve justice rather than I just kill you, because it'd be too easy.
But no, fucking Spider-Man. Oh, I'm taking him for justice. You're a fucking nerd, bro. Spider-Man's a nerd.
And
Yeah, we know.
Why
That's
does
part
that
of the
matter?
charm.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I've never understood this whole, like, hating of nerds thing. I grew up with it as an issue. Like,
Yep.
I wanted to play Yu-Gi-Oh at the lunch table with all of my friends, and people would make fun of us for that. But as an adult, looking back on it, I don't understand why. Like, was it to be that we were all enjoying ourselves and having fun? Or is there some other reason? Because I don't see something that is worth making fun of there. I don't.
Feels more like they kind of don't like the nerd because we're basically what they would be if they weren't so concerned about the approval of others. We're just kind of happy being ourselves.
Yeah,
I got made fun of constantly for being a nerd or a weirdo for wanting to, like, use my imagination when I was playing outside. As well as, like, drawing pictures.
Oh, I personally find your nerdisms very endearing.
Well, thank you. I find your nerdisms quite endearing as well. That's why we're friends.
There we go. Now let's go to somebody who's not endearing.
Anyone who likes Spider-Man, by extension, is also a nerd.
Neat.
Thanks, I'll wear that proudly. I also got a shout-out from Yuri Lowenthal. I got a shout-out from a voice actor who played Spider-Man. Can you say that, Tate? I don't think you can.
Who got bit by Spider and became a super nerd. And why does he still live with his parents?
It depends on the continuity.
Yeah, it does, also. Plus, A, they're poor. He can't really afford to move out very often. And even when he does, his accommodations are not very great. B, usually when he starts out, he's a child. That's like one of the things that was made, that had actually made Spider-Man more popular. Yeah. Because he was made to be a teenager, which was something that didn't happen back then. He was also made with personal problems.
Yep. He was not a paragon the same way that someone like a Superman was. He didn't have just a repertoire of everything going for him. Things were not good for him. Why does he live with his parents? Because he doesn't have much of a choice, and there's nothing wrong with having those.
Not even his parents.
Yeah, Aunt May, not even his parents.
It's his uncle and aunt who are usually elderly because his parents died.
Unless you have MCU Spider-Man where they're just like, let's make her hot.
Well, she's still older.
She is still older, but it's like in every single subsequent Spider-Man film, they made Aunt May progressively younger. I've noticed.
I mean, she looks a lot like my actual aunt, who reminds me of Yzma a little bit, in the positive way. Because both my aunt and Yzma are, like, very glamorous, older Latino women who are very, very funny.
You're a fucking superhero. You're living with your parents. Why? Or his uncle, or his grandma, or whoever the fuck he's living with, those old people. Why?
Because he's a poor person, and also he's a kid.
Yeah.
When he starts.
Like, one of the reasons...
Plus, like... halfway through the first movie, he moves out. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like, also, just in general, one of the reasons that Spider-Man being so young is such a major point for his character... Why is my mic solo? That's weird.
I don't know.
Oh, there we go. Did I get it working? Hold on.
Yeah, that's a good point, Miyakota Storm. He's poor, he's a child, and he's in NYC. Where else is he gonna go?
He's gonna go to the poor folks' home. But like,
no.
when I think about the way that Spider-Man's written, one of the reasons why him being a child is so important to the plots is because when a villain is willing to try to kill Spider-Man, they are effectively showing that they are willing to kill a kid, a child. They are willing to extinguish the life of a minor. That's one of the reasons...
makes them seem more evil by comparison.
It makes them much worse.
Plus, let's also get into the fact that when he does lose somebody, given the fact that he is a child, it hurts so much more for a reader. Because it's just like, nothing like this should be happening to somebody that young. Like, no one that young should be having to deal with something like that. Like, your best friend died, basically your father figure died. And those things are considered your fault.
Yep.
So when the world is on his shoulders, we want to root for him even more.
It's almost like creating a character with limitations is good writing because it lets you make characters more endearing to an audience.
Yes.
None of this makes sense.
Yes, it does.
I'm a
yes,
superhero.
It does.
And I don't live with my parents.
No, you're not.
You're not a superhero. How the fuck are you a superhero? What
superhero
what thing do you do?
Have?
Like, what do you do?
Is he like Lamborghini Man?
If you're a superhero, why the fuck you still live with your parents? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't like it. And
in this economy?
He was a wrestler or something, and then some guy robbed the wrestler, killed his uncle, and then he started crying his eyes out. I'm Spider-Man.
Part of what makes that worse is that he let the guy go past him out of spite.
I also like how the name of this is Spider-Man 2021 Honest Review.
When he's talking about a movie that came out in 2002. Interesting, ain't it?
Spider-Man. I'm not allowed to say that. Can I say that? He's a...
I wonder what he said.
Yeah, I have no idea what he said either. That's weird.
I'm a little concerned.
All right. You're a loser, Spider-Man. You're a loser.
No. Please. Please don't say that.
Oh my god. How pathetic do you have to be to edit that specifically that way?
Or just you wait, his request, like, it's going to get a lot more pathetic very soon.
What else does Spider-Man do that offends me? There's something else he does that really offends me, and I can't remember what it was.
Oh, what does he do that offends you? What?
That's it.
Please.
If you're sitting this and watching and you're thinking, okay, Tate is eternally wise. He's always correct. Everything Tate says is true.
What?
But on this one issue, I disagree because I always kind of liked Spider-Man. Let me ask you something. Look at the actors they have chosen to play Spider-Man.
Okay, let's pause then.
Yeah, let's take a look at each of them.
Tobey Maguire, not really my type, but he's all right looking. Andrew Garfield, very charming, quite a nice person, quite funny as well. He's a good comedic actor. Tom Holland, very wholesome lad, has a stable girlfriend, has a good acting career. He's a good actor. He could also do a lot more than the other two could. I mean, he actually had gymnastics training when he was younger, so he's a little bit more flexible, which is an advantage considering how Tobey injured his back really badly.
Yep. I said, Tate, this isn't Arby's and you're a dumbass.
Yeah. Plus, like,
I
would readily go out with any of these three guys if you put a gun to my head and was like, okay, you gotta date either Tate or any of these any of these
you'd pick
betas.
Any of them instead.
I'll go out with all three of them at once, please. I'll go out with all three Spider-Men. Thank you.
Pictures
They're much more
of the last few Spider-Men. They're not men. They're barely boys. Look at these.
Of course they're barely boys. His character is young.
Yeah, and plus, like, Tom was the youngest actor to play the character yet. He was 18 when he was cast. And Spider-Man in the MCU was 15 when he first showed up. So he was already really close to the character's actual age, so of course he's going to look younger.
Like, it's...
Like, Andrew's just, like, a little bit more of the wiry version, looks closer to the Ultimate Comics. And Tobey was pushing 30 by the time he was doing this.
Yep. Raspberry Dad says Tate misses the point on purpose, I think. Oh, no, I know he misses the point on purpose. Again,
he does.
It's a way to artificially get traction. There's a friend of mine who I disagree with on a lot. But he said that, like, if he started a YouTube channel, he would deliberately try to piss everybody off because that gives you the most engagement. That's the type of mentality that leads you to an Andrew Tate type of person, where your goal is to make everyone mad as opposed to make everyone think.
Yeah, and also just, like, what else does Spider-Man do that offends me? It's like, oh, did he hurt your widow feelings, Andrew? Oh, you gonna cry, baby?
Yeah, I thought only...
gonna cry.
I thought
Go
only
in the corner, fuck off.
I thought only SJW cucks were supposed to get offended.
Yeah, I know, and it's just like, why is the fact that they don't look as manly as you offend you? I mean, if you want a more manly-looking, like, quote-unquote spider person, I would tell you to go watch the Venom movies, but I don't want you to get your, like, gross, nasty stink all over them. Please let me keep my Tom Hardy films in peace.
These Spider-Men. At least with Batman, they got Christian Bale. Okay, now they're talking about making another one with the dork from Twilight. Everything gets ruined in the end.
What?
The dork from
right, Batman. That was more of like a noir film because I think Tate has missed the fact that Batman is supposed to be, and I quote, the world's greatest detective. It was more of a detective story than it was a action thriller. But then again, Tate can't deal with anything that isn't super duper frenetic all the time. Jesus Christ. It would be exhausting to live in his head.
Batman's, he was Batman. But look at the dorks they choose to play Spider-Man, because even Hollywood, even the people who are in charge of making the movies know Spider-Man's a bitch. Quickly, let's make a...
It's less that they know he's a bitch and more that this is the build Spider-Man has had since Ditko.
Yeah, and plus, like, it's a little bit more advantageous since he has a bit more of like a swimmer's bod, like lean, but the muscle is still there. Plus, it's like allows him to be a little bit more flexible, since that's kind of required when you're doing all of the stuff that Spider-Man does.
Yeah, Batman as a character has always been more on the buff side because he trained in every single type of mixed martial art, whereas Spider-Man has always been more on the lean side because he is an athlete. He's an air ballerina. It's how he fights. It's how he functions.
He's closer to a ninja, honestly, if we take into account what he actually does, and even then, like, I think that Peter can really beat a lot of people in these fights because he's not like a trained martial artist. He's had to learn through like street level brawling.
He learned in the Bronx.
Led him. It's like he had to do street level fighting, so that taught him to be very flexible and adaptable to just about any situation. Plus, he can figure himself out of a lot of problems.
Superhero who's actually secretly a little bitch. Find me an actor who looks like a bitch. Oh, this guy, yeah, he's a punk. He can be Spider-Man. It's all garbage. And? Spider-Man should be erased from the face of the planet. And I've decided the superhero to do it should be... I don't know shit about superheroes.
That much is obvious.
The superhero to kill Spider-Man should be... Okay, why don't we go with the canon people who've killed Spider-Man? Green Goblin's done it once.
Yep, Green Goblin's done it once. Venom did it once. Through, like, actually just basically eating Spider-Man.
Doc Ock's done it
Sandman killed him once.
Oh, yes, because it was during the Marvel Zombies event. Sandman just pumped him full of sand. He got all inside his bits.
And his stomach burst.
Yeah, it was a very...
It just made his organs rupture, and that was a horrible image to look at.
Like,
I think Deadpool's killed him before.
That would track.
I mean, that was like, I think Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe both times.
Like, just... Spider-Man's died a lot. There's plenty of people who have killed him and can kill him. I mean, if we were to think of, like...
Wilson Fisk killed him once. Morlun has killed several Spider-Men.
It's not all about the money, Spider-Man. Sometimes it's about the pounding I'm about to give you. Yep.
He's died a lot.
Andrew Tate. Me. I want someone out there who can write comics. This is a genuine task. Anyone out there who can design comics, anyone who's good with drawing or whatever. I want a 3 or 4 page comic where Spider-Man meets me. We meet on top of a building. I call him a punk. He tries to throw some web at me. I use my Aikido ninja moves, and I destroy Spider-Man. If someone creates...
What?
Aikido's not even a real martial art, buddy.
I use my ninja moves, and I destroy him. The guy is an
actual ninja. Plus, like, who says that he was aiming right for you?
That he's gonna be like, "Ha! You missed me," and the Spider-Man's gonna be like, "Yeah, but I didn't."
Like, actually, just came launching his foot right into Tate's face.
Or just like, "Yeah, I missed you, but I didn't miss the water tower behind you." Yoink. Like, just okay.
Plus, like, Spider-Man has had to pull back a lot. Like, this especially happened in the Superior Spider-Man arc. One of the first fights Doc Ock in Spider-Man's body, because it's weird in comics. He actually almost killed a guy because he wasn't used to Peter's strength. It's just like, oh my god, all the times we fought, he's been holding back.
Yup.
Any of our altercations could have ended with a fist-sized hole in my chest.
Yep, he could have been raditzed super quick.
Yeah. And plus, even then, it's just like, it wouldn't be hard to imagine that he just says some stuff and Spider-Man takes him out really quick because he's being loud and belligerent. It's just like, okay, buddy.
This guy would
tries
be
to
one
attack,
of
dodge.
This guy would be one of Fisk's thugs, and a very low-paid one at that.
Yeah.
Give me an email.
That'd be funny.
The email address below. There'll be a cash prize waiting, and we're gonna get famous. We're gonna put it all over the internet, all over Tate Speech, all over Twitter.
Oh my god,
everywhere. And
Jesus
I just had to realize this. He basically was begging people to draw him fan art.
Yes, that's what he did. He's begging for fucking. Okay, Tate. Let me give you a hint. A super easy way to get fan art, Tate. That doesn't require you acting like a fucking e-beggar on the internet. When somebody sends some to you, show it off and point out that you're proud of the work they did. Guess what?
He actually commissioned it.
That's sad.
He showed it in a later video, and it's just like, that's sad that you had to go and pay for it.
Yeah.
Plus, like if people actually did like you, they would do it without being asked. It would be great if, like, someone in the audience was, like, better at drawing, like, Marvel adjacent sort of stuff than I am, which is not great. I would probably want to draw the opposite of this happening, maybe even make an entire story about this and just, like, have it be, like, a low-grade guy just getting his ass handed to him. Maybe even, like, 2 pages, but, like, definitely want to make something out of this.
I just think it's
So
sad. I'm okay commissioning art when it's for work, right? When I'm just like, yeah, I need this piece because I need it done a certain way. My VTuber model's that way. The set that we're on that has 2 pieces of milk I didn't commission, but Yara is cruel and I don't have a way to avoid that. But those are there. Blizzy was commissioned as well. Commissioning artwork for things you need done is fine, but commissioning because you have a fantasy and your masculinity is threatened if you can't properly fantasize about yourself beating up a superhero. I'm not going to say it's bad for the artist who did the work. I'm just going to say it's kind of sad that you needed that.
Oh, wait. He would hate getting beaten by a woman. It should be Spider-Gwen beating him up.
You know, I know that you think it should be Spider-Gwen. No. I think it should be...
Or Spider-Woman.
I think it should be, if anybody is beating him up, I think it should be, I can't remember her name, but the little tiny girl with the Spider-Man mech should be her.
Oh, Penny Parker.
Yeah, it should be Penny Parker. Should be Penny Parker kicking his ass.
Yeah.
Like that is the whole reason. I'm going to give a quick spoiler for the next video I'm doing on What If Shadow Died. I have an altercation between Eggman and Cream the Rabbit, and spoiler alert, Cream the Rabbit kicks his fucking ass, because turns out Chows can get into egg mechs really easy.
Ooh, someone just pointed out, not like Penny or Gwen, it should be Mayday. You know, Spider-Man's daughter.
My dad could beat you up, but he's bored, so I'll do it.
It's like, my dad's bored, so it's like, and you're being really mean, so I think he'd be okay with me teaching you a lesson.
Hey, Andrew Tate, do you know what testicles taste like? Do you know what your own testicles taste like?
I'm about to show you, and it's like, you're about to find out in a minute.
Jesus Christ. Let's see here.
Fuck around
Spider-Man
and find out.
Officially destroyed for the rest of humanity. And when people mention Spider-Man, they'll say, no, there is no more Spider-Man. Andrew Tate beat him. Read the comic. We're going to conquer.
Wouldn't.
Oh my God, nobody says that.
This is comic books. This is comic books. No one is gone forever except for Uncle Ben.
And even then, we can bring him back for at least an issue or 2. Repeatedly.
Yep. Well, it's like, no one's going to be like, oh, this weirdo on the internet really has, like, such a big bone to pick with Spider-Man that he'll pay somebody to draw a comic of him beating up a fictional character and then claiming that he's wiped from the face of the earth forever. I'm sorry, how is this fictional character hurting you so much, Tate?
Why are you so upset about this thing happening?
Calm,
It isn't...
calm down.
We're done with the video, but I have to say...
You do have to see, like, the little thing at the end.
Oh, dear. Oh, no.
It's
for
silly.
Spider-Man right here, right now, and you're going to help. Fuck Spider-Man.
Is it...
That's a weak flip.
Is it... Fuck Spider-Man.
He didn't even
look
do
at
a full flip.
Fuck Spider-Man. I'm going to do a flip.
He only
Okay.
manages, like, a half a flip.
Okay.
That's pathetic.
Oh, sir. Renita, I have to say something honestly.
What?
Of all the videos I have been forced to watch, this was one of them.
Yes.
This was one of the videos of all time.
I could have shown you worse, but you're my friend, so I'm holding back.
may regret saying this, but don't hold back.
Oh no.
That's
I
for
think you will regret it.
that's for later then. But with that said, that's as far as we are getting into that nonsense. So I will throw this back to everybody who's watching here. What are your thoughts in the comment section below? And also, if you haven't already, please consider following Renita both on Twitch and on YouTube when you are done with watching this video. And if you don't, I'll find out. I'm kidding. I want to actually find out, but I am going to put the request out there and keep it there. Do you have any final words for this bit?
Spider-Man is so much better than Tate, and that's not even a controversial statement. Most people agree.
10 out of 10 doctors agree. Spider-Man is better than Andrew Tate.
Yes.
I am okay with that. Alrighty. With all that said, everybody, thank you for watching, and as always, insert end the video tagline here.